Good evening, everyone. This is Rodney with the Triton Wave Market Outlook for Friday, December 7th, 2012. Okay, let's take a look at the S&P, the E-mini futures. Right now, it's down 150. It is 3:25 a.m. on Friday morning, an early start or a late start, however you choose to look at it. I have T1, 2, 3, and 4 below zero. T5 is hovering right at zero. The long dark blue line is still above zero. It looks like the monster employment report is coming out in a few hours, and to my way of thinking, the market is just looking for permission to resume its downward trend. So let's look at that was the daily. Let's look at the 21. 21's kind of creeping sideways to up a little bit. Half below, half above zero. These are just some plays if you're a day trader. Not much to do on Thursday. The big news was Apple. So let's jump right into Apple and see what was going on here. Let me put up a daily. Let's see where. Whoops, sorry here. Remove. Okay, these are the last 2 days of Apple. So Apple had a spectacular one-day drop of 37 points on Wednesday, and it started off up at 575 and ended at 529, and then just came down to 518 before it popped back up. So if you're using these waves, actually it was a short back here during the daytime. At the end of the day it was a short at the end of the day on Tuesday, when T5 went below zero, and then you had this all day long Wednesday. So I was very fortunate enough to catch this entire move here, and I got out when it started kicking back up at about 5:30. So came back up here. I still think Apple is on a downtrend. Let's look at the day. Let's look at the 21 period moving average. Except for a little tiny blip on T1 on the 21-minute cash price, Apple is still down short term, and it's down long term. So the daily, whoops, let's get a little more feed here. Okay, so this is what the big picture looks like on Apple. It went right down in Thursday's trade. It went right down exactly to the 377 at 518, and then popped back up again, but only popped. It hasn't even reached the 8-period moving average. So I still like Apple to the downside. If you can catch it back up here to 564, or if the monster report comes out, it'll just start continuing down again. So again, back to the 21. It looks like let me see, the 8 and the 21, even with this turn up, the 8 has not crossed back up to 21. And right now, it's up a point in the middle of the night. So this may continue up. The T1 may continue up, but you still have this to deal, you still have T5 to deal with, and that is your anchor chart for the 21. You can use the, or you can use the daily as a 21, daily as an anchor, T5 as an anchor. Let's look at the 1597. You can even use the 1597 an anchor, which is still halfway below zero. So I still like Apple to the downside. Let's look at Goldman Sachs on a, if it'll populate. Here we go. Okay, so even on a tick chart, on 610 tick chart, T4 and 5 are below zero. On the 21 minute, T5 is below zero. And on the daily, Goldman Sachs is below zero the last 3 or 4 days on T2. So this is trending down. The dark blue line, I don't know if you can see that or not, is hovering along zero. It wouldn't take much to get the dark blue line below zero. It would be an outright sell on Goldman Sachs. I still like Goldman on a flush down to 97. It's now sitting at 117. On Google, Google looks like the 8 and the 21 are crossing to the upside, but this is long wave. The T1, T2, T3 are below zero. T4 is hovering above, just above zero, and T5 is still below zero. I mean, it's still above zero. So let's break this down to the 610. Sorry, 144. And you can get a better picture. The 144 is represents the is a better representative of trading on Google. So you can see T4 is the cleanest one here. It went below zero right at 699 and back above zero at 688. So, but the smaller waves are starting to go down, and T2 is below zero. So, any move to the downside, Google's going to go with the move. Let's look at the 21 on Google. Let me see here. The 21-minute chart is mostly to the downside. T1 is slightly above zero in the sideways move. T2 is below, T3 is below, T4 is just starting below. Let me see here. That just happened the last two hash marks of the day on Thursday. All right, and Amazon. Amazon is still below zero, even though a spectacular move happened from 218 up to 255. T1 and 2 are below zero. I liked that short until I saw T3 and T4 move above zero, so I switched my position to a long up to 262, but it may be fading because I'm looking at the 21, the shorter time frame, and you can see from here that T1 is now below zero with T2, T3, and T4 just going below zero. So I'm changing my mind back. It's made its another 5-point run since I reversed, and it looks like Amazon wants to go back down again. So there's really nothing more. We have to wait until the monster employment numbers come out. There's really nothing changed in the economy. There's a call for, as I said last night, or in the last video update, that there's a call for like a 1.4% growth in the economy by some private economists, and that the fiscal cliff is going to help correct all this if there's the proper negotiations and everything, and everybody makes their compromise. But in reality, I think this market is ready to move down, and we just have to get tomorrow out of the way for it to resume. My line in the sand is still 1421 on the left-hand chart here on the daily, and that seems to have held for the last 5 or 6 trading days, and we'll just have to see what happens tomorrow. Good luck trading, and I'll see you in the next update.